What's up YouTube, Mr. Llama here, and welcome back. This is part 2 of the Vengeance Nightmare guided playthrough. Part 1 just took a little bit extra long. We were a little slow with our early farming. I should have just leveled a little bit more to go. We tried to farm and get some items a little bit. It took us a while to find the L rune. You know, there's just a lot of things, right? With these melee characters, you just move a little slower because you need a little more setup. You need a little bit more gear. You need a little bit more of everything going on. Now, I could have burst through the game a little bit more, but I find that if I settle in and do just a little bit more farm, it tends to be a better experience, I think, overall for these guided playthroughs. So, with that, sometimes we get little bit longer part nightmares and things, right? So let's dive back in. We have started Act 4. We can take a look at our stats, skills, and gear. Again, our stats is enough to wear our gear, and then honor gives us an extra 10 strength on top of it, and then some dex for max block. Remember, max block is when you have Holy Shield active. Notice how I get the extra boost there. And then the rest into Vitality. Our skills are maxed out Vengeance, 1 across everything else. I actually have 4 into Holy Shield just because the duration is only 30 seconds on level 1, which is a giant pain. It's just horrible. So you want a few points in there at least, just so you can have a duration. You're not constantly having to cast it, I always find. And then we're starting to just jam up Conviction at this point, because every point is an additional minus 5% all res for the mobs, and then additionally minus to their defense, which of course helps us to hit them. So that's where we're at, and then a couple points just in synergies, and then 1 point in salvation, because salvation is 68 all res with a single point. So you can pretty much just jam that up and be in a great spot. Gear. Nothing too crazy in the charms, just some like res and a little bit attack rating, life, mana. We've got our honor now, which is great. Helps us hit a little bit harder here. Helm still pretty weak. We just shopped this a while ago. I like the 41% bonus attack rating, so we've got that rocking. A nice amulet. I wish that was paladin skills so badly, but even take those away, you still have nice res and life on it, some energy. We have a rhyme shield, which of course gives us cannot be frozen. It's in a 5 all res shield. So, you know, medium there. But it is still nice. We get the cannot be frozen here. And if we can get one more hell rune or an IO rune, we will unlock a Hearth helm, which will give us canopy frozen up here, which will allow us to make a spirit in a, I believe we have a 21 all-res shield in our stash, which will be a lot more resistances, and the +2 skills, and the extra life and vitality, you know, mana and all that. So that's kind of our, like, next aim. We have a beautiful set of gloves right here. 20, it's not beautiful, but it's, every stat is meaningful. 18 attack rating, 3 lifesteal, 20 fire res, and 11 MF. Just classy. A nice ring. 9 dex is pretty helpful for our max block, of course, and then adds attack rating. Then we have mana, 6 all res, 24 cold res. 53 to life on a belt that we shopped, 69 attack rating on a ring, and then just some fast run walk and light res boots. We have teleport here. And our mercenary has, I was going to make him a spirit, but obviously I would need a socket quest or something to at least socket the weapon in the cube, and we could chance to get 4 sockets on it. We have a stealth. We have just this right here. Nothing too crazy. I could make him a lore helm maybe. And then an ancient's pledge just to keep his res high. And that is that. Let's go ahead and start. We can get players 1 set out here. I don't really feel like being players 8. We are only level 41. So, you know, don't want to get too crazy there. But the nice thing with the Act 3 mercs, you might say, Mr. Lema, why are you using an Act 3 mercenary? Well, An Act 2 mercenary would be really nice, especially if I gave him insight. That would do pretty well. But I would need to find a 4-socket weapon to do so, of which I currently do not have a 4-socket. You really want an exceptional weapon. But additionally, the Act 3 mercenary has been pretty nice. Number 1, he gives me enchant, as he sits there and casts into a wall. Number 1, he gives me enchant. Number 2, he will blast out fire damage. And of course, we have plus, or all the minus res, minus 60% all res with our conviction. Thus, it actually kind of works nicely. So, I like him. He's, you know, a little fragile somewhat here and there, but what mercenary isn't? I will say the only other consideration really right now, because an Act 2 mercenary would be nice again once we get, and if we get spirit. But without the spirit, the only other consideration really is getting the light mercenary. Lightning Act 3, because he does have static charges, and that can just be really nice, and something I might even consider, honestly, for our mercenary, just for like when we get to Diablo and Bael and stuff. But we can also look to just make ourselves a strength, just so we can have a little crushing blow. What damage do I have? My damage is 355 to 890, so it's not bad. It's not the greatest damage ever. Right? It's a little slow moving, but the really nice thing about the damage is that it is all elements, right? So I deal lightning damage, I deal cold damage, I deal fire damage, I deal physical damage. And that's pretty nice. Does the Thorns aura from Edgebow get stronger with plus skills from items? For some reason, I'm not 100% certain at the moment, but I believe no is the answer. I'm like pretty certain it's no. Alright, 2 more points to conviction. No, it does not. Thank you, yes. I'm like 98% certain it does not, but you know, every now and then you're like, there's always some interaction that I forget, you know. It's like, obviously. Ooh, we can also roll some crushing blow gloves, so let's go ahead and do that now that we have a perfect ruby. So this is where you look. You get magic heavy gloves or sharkskin gloves or vampire bone gloves, a Nephrune, a perfect ruby, and any jewel. So we can just gamble some gloves really fast. Those are leather. There we go. Heavy gloves. And then perfect ruby, and then a Nephrune. And we saved up a random junk jewel. And now we can make ourselves some beautiful crushing blow gloves. 7% chance crushing blow, 3 to lifesteal, 2 dex, 16 life. Not a great glove overall. We didn't really roll many good stats on it whatsoever. But it does give us 7% chance crushing blow, which will be very useful for Diablo and the like. So we can save that. Already talked there. So always important to remember those basic little recipes like that. And right now I'm still going to use my current gloves. They do give me 20 fire res, and Act 4 is pretty nasty with fire. Am I preparing for PoE 2 at all? Yes. I will be streaming it. We will be doing decent stuff with it. We have to figure out, you know, how much what we're starting all the stuff. So let's finish up this first. Hell Vengeance Paladin. I mean, it's hard to prepare because there's not, you know, a ton of information. I mean, you have some information that people have, you know, found and seen, and then obviously I have the information of when I went and played it. But otherwise... Okay, now we're getting to a very big moment for this character. And that moment is the Forge. Because again, remember, a pole rune is wisdom, an rune is duress or crescent moon, a lem rune is treachery most likely, but also we could look at what, passion. A ko rune is hustle. An Io rune gets us our Hearth. A Hell rune gets us our Hearth. Really, we're just like, please no soul rune. Or a lum rune is smoke. Yeah, Mercenary gonna die. It's a little nasty. Source Monk, Archer. I think I'm gonna go for the Ranger, but I'm open to looking around and considering. Ow. Man, hits like a truck. That might aura. Yeah, the moving while shooting on the Ranger is just like really sick. Obviously, if this was hardcore, we would not stand in there and keep fighting him like that. Just for all the people who are like, oh, hardcore, you'd be dead. Like, yes. When you're playing hardcore, you play much safer. You don't keep fighting when you have no health. Think he hits harder than me? He hits pretty hard. He's got a good chunk. Alright, let's see it. A lot of good options. No soul, no soul. Ko-rune. Alright, so hustle it is. Which isn't my favorite of the bunch. But is alright. Go ahead and try and clear this up first. Just a little bit of it. Okay. And not great gems, sadly. Okay, so immediately, as soon as you get your rune, you should basically just Google like ko-rune, Diablo 2 Resurrected, right? Because you can just come down here and you can immediately see all of the rune words that go with ko. So, destruction, no. Harmony is fun, but vigor, it gets us the revives if we want to run revive strats. Hodo, great, but of course requires the Vex, so no. Hustle, yes. Lawbringer requires a lem rune as well, but we can at least take a look at it. Melody, missile weapon, no. Obedience, fantastic, but does also require a foul rune. Rift, Goal, no. Sanctuary, nice, but needs a Mal, no. Voice of Reason needs a Lem as well. Wealth is a no for us. So we can kind of look at some options here. The first one being Lawbringer. If we had the Lem rune, you get the Sanctuary and chance for Decrepify on striking, which is really nice, minus target defense. A lot of added elemental damage there, but no ED on it. So it's all right. The chance for Decrepify and minus defense is nice, though. It's a solid weapon for sure, but not for us. Generally better if you give it to like an Act 5 mercenary. Hustle is Shale Co-Eld, of which we have all three, and it comes in two forms. In a weapon, you get 5% chance to cast Burst of Speed, which is great. Level 1 Fanaticism, which is really nice. 30 attack speed, and 180 to 200 ED. I mean, that is a very, very solid setup right there. One of the biggest reasons is it just gives a lot of attack speed, right? You get Burst of Speed, which is going to give you attack speed. You get Fanaticism, which is going to give you attack speed. And you get 30 attack speed, which of course is going to give you attack speed. So Hustle's super nice there. It also has 180 to 200 ED. Obviously, if we take a look at our current weapon, we get 160 ED here. We do get some attack rating as well, and some lifesteal and deadly strike and the things of that nature. But it is a little sad and tough, I will say, because it makes us have question of, do we actually want to switch out of our honor now and go into a hustle there or not? Because additionally, there is the armor, which gives 65% faster run walk, 40% attack speed, 20% hit recovery, 6 to evade, 10 dexterity, and 10 all res. So not quite as good, but getting all the IAS, some more safety, some more block and chance to hit with the attack rating, some more all res, is pretty nice. Now, on the contrary, we could also look at putting this, because it's any melee weapon, we could make this into a weapon for a mercenary, and then Fanaticism will apply to both of us. Now, you know, we can take a look at level 1 Fanaticism. Obviously, we're also not getting the burst of speed. He is. We can look right here. Fanaticism, level 1 is 14% attack speed plus attack. And then we get a little more damage, but he gets more. But the main thing is we would get attack rating and attack speed from that. Now, the radius is only 7.3 yards, so we do have to be close to him. But it is something. So that's a good option. Obedience is godly. Yes, it would go in a pole armor spear, but 370% enhanced damage and a chance to cast level 21 enchant. This is probably one of the best weapons. And if we had a foul rune, I'd probably be more likely to charge and try and get it. But only having a co-rune is kind of difficult. We'd have to just like run Hell Countess over and over again. But this is a consideration. Also 40% chance crushing blow, 20 to 30 all res, minus enemy fire. Like, this is a very good weapon. You can give this to your Act 2 mercenary and just let him go crazy. Or honestly, I would consider just using this on my character at this point. Like, get a big old spear with decent speed and just cha, you know. So, obedience, two-handed vengeance, I would think about it for sure. And Voice of Reason, not really much here. It does have Cannot Be Frozen, which is nice. Chance to cast Ice Blast and Frozen Orb on striking. So it's kind of one of these fun, you know, minus enemy cold res. It's actually an okay rune order. It would do all right for us. But we would need a Lem rune as well. And again, I'd rather, if I had Lem and Co, I'd rather make like Treachery and Hustle than, you know, make this. But still an interesting option. So that kind of gives us our options. I think I'm going to end up making the 3-socket armor for myself instead. As much as I do like having it right here on a mercenary, I just feel like this is going to benefit us a little bit more. So how will we do that? Well, first we will head back here and we will just get the waypoint, since we already have it kind of partially discovered. Now we'll go back to normal. I will play PoE 2. I just need a disclaimer that says like, yes, I will. And we will head to the Loot Golane. And we can just shop right here for, honestly, there's a lot of them that'll be 3 open sockets, but I do want a breastplate. A breastplate is a light armor. So you actually have light, medium, and heavy armors. They're not shown in the game. You just have to know them. But just know a breastplate is a light one. All of the main armors that you think of, Archon Plate, Mage Plate, Breastplate, Dusk Shroud, those are all light base armors. So they have 0% move speed penalty. Mediums have 5%. Heavy have 10%. It's not the biggest deal, and obviously there's style points of how good you look in a scale mail and stuff, but a scale mail, I believe, is a heavy armor. So that one's, you know, pretty rough. So we'll just go on the shop train. We found a 1 socket and a 2 socket. Time to find the 3 socket. Why go out and come back into town? This will reset the vendor. Anytime that you leave town and come back to town, whether through a portal, through a waypoint, through the exit, it will reset all of the vendors in town, so it lets me continue to try shopping.
It is an honor to serve you.
Yeah, you can ask questions. Don't. Questions are always fine. This is a guided playthrough. The whole point is you ask questions and I try and give answers. That's a lot of 1 socket and 2 sockets we found there, unfortunately. Does Elzix not generate socketed armor? Elzix does generate socket armor, but he gives you the lesser bases. So if you look over here, he's selling only these, which are all going to be 1 or 2 sockets. So Farah sells the heavier, or the next step up, I should say, not heavier, in armor. She sells your metal armors, and those are the ones that can get the 3 sockets here. Now remember, you must do this in Act 2 of normal. Charcy will also sometimes have a breastplate that you can shop 3 sockets, but you cannot do this beyond Act 1 or 2. The reason is because vendors quit selling white/socketed items that are gray once you get to Act 3 and are of a certain level. Just pretty low. I believe at level 20, right? 1920, something like that. So the chest armor is not the only armor that has the move speed penalty. Shields as well. For instance, a large shield is a medium armor shield, and a kite shield is light.
Of shopping music.
I would put on shopping music, but there's been copyright trolls on YouTube that are claiming it. So every time I upload a video that has shopping music in it now, there we go, it gets claimed, and I have to go through the whole like process of proving that that song is open and open source. And honestly, it's a long, tedious process that's super annoying. They don't have to prove that the song is theirs. They just claim it, and then I have to go through and like give links to the history of the song and the documents proving of when it came out, and it's so annoying. So Shale Co Eld makes us a hustle. Beautiful. And I like that for so many reasons. Again, faster run walk is actually pretty valuable, right? A lot of people don't think it exactly, but it is very nice to let you escape and get away and stutter step and do all sorts of things. So it's actually a very valuable skill, not just for like speedrunning or anything, but for survivability. 40 IAS, self-explanatory. 20 faster hit recovery, helps us when we get hit. 6 to evade, really nice, so that gives us a chance to evade more attacks for survivability. 10 dexterity, obviously good when we're trying to go max dex for max block, and just gives us more attack rating. And then 10 to all res to help boost us there. So we can also take a look here. I want to see what it feels like.
Amazon has an espresso machine for $600 if someone wants to get me a Christmas present.
Nice. Interesting terror zone. Game sound is very low. Yeah, why is it low? That's so weird, because that's always where I have it. Very strange. Co-dropped from the Forge. Level up. We are still on max block, so we will just continue with Vitality. Alright. The hole is terrorized as well. So again, if you want to do some leveling, this can be a great way to get your leveling in. Still quiet. The next time we start the game up, it's gonna be like so loud for some reason. I always have it at 15. It's very strange. Very, very, very strange. So, I mean, you can see this is actually a pretty great experience for very easy, right? That's kind of the best part. I also really love our attack speed now with this, now that we have Hustle here. That definitely moved us up like 2 frames. I did not edit the volume in the mixer, that's why it's confusing. I haven't touched the volume in any place. So, no clue. It's probably a 3-socket breastplate, huh? I mean, this is great leveling, and this is very easy. Terror zones are like really solid for going back and leveling, actually. One of the big reasons is, again, you don't have all the increases that the next area has, right? So if you go to Nightmare, the mob packs are going to be harder. You're going to have more on Dreadfester here. All of that. We don't have to worry about that here. So we can just kill freely and enjoy. I mean, this is Player's 8. I'm just one-shotting everything. So, feel free to spend time leveling there. Man, I know it's like silly, but I kind of want to go back and try a little more Countess just to see if we can get that Hell rune or Io rune. But I also want to push forward. Both sound good.
I will cleanse this wilderness.
Both sound good. Nice. Good tower.
I can't carry anymore.
Always good money in serpent skins and ghost armors.
Thanks.
Uh-huh. Ethereal does ruin it a little bit. Alright. Drop down to P1. It's unfortunate. Curse is tough. But again, you can see us able to get in a good spot. Just take these dudes out one by one.
I can't carry anymore. I am overburdened.
Super nice. YouTube comments are stuck. Are they? I see them right there. Unbending Will would be fantastic, but that's if we get a foul rune. Shale Eth, not quite. Take all the dudes out one by one. Yeah, but now we're like taking the dudes out, you know? Which is nice. Alright. I care less about all these chips at this point. And we'll put away more of these guys instead.
Greetings.
Any tips for a new player? I mean, tons of them. I've got a lot of videos with a lot of new player tips.
And the wildfowl
Like
rune would
33%.
magically appear.
This is also where you can grab IAS gloves, by the way. You can just straight up shop them if you want. I still like the gloves that I have currently, but it is an option.
Hello.
We have a decently fast tower here,
I will cleanse this.
which is also nice. So we can farm as much or as little as we want. Kill a little bit, we can. If we want to be players 1 or players 8, we can. I can always go to like players 8 when I open a chest and then drop back to players 1 afterwards. Right, we have options, which is really nice. Yeah, I've got a lot of like tips videos for new players. If you look up new player guides, things like that on my YouTube. Obviously all these guided playthroughs are also pretty new player oriented. My general tip is probably take your time and grind a little bit. Round Neff. Nope. Don't try and move as fast as you see streamers move through all of the stuff. That's probably one of the best tips I can get. Here's a gem shrine, again, like we talked about. We could sit there and say, oh yeah, a gem shrine, we'll grab it right now. Or we can go back, be a little more particular about it. Grab the one gem that we want in our inventory, have no other gems. And now, that was weird, but let me click it. We have a perfect ruby. Good roll from learning anything from the pros. Yeah, we're going to make it look a lot easier than it actually is. We have all the little tips and tricks. We have all the muscle memory, all the everything. If you try and mimic us, you will find yourself just in a horrible spot being like, why is this awful? This isn't fun. It is not going to be a good time. So more levels is more skill points, is more attack rating, is more all of the stuff.
Hey, reminding everyone that they can use that Prime sub from Daddy Bezos to support Mr. Rama.
Oh yeah, that's a good reminder. I didn't even remember that. Thank you, Lemur. Totally forgot that was a thing. You just press subscribe, right? And then it'll show you if it's available. Another point into conviction. Dang. Yeah, we've got the hammer guided playthrough up. So that one is open for business. We have an experience shrine. I'll go ahead and go to players 8 with it, and we'll see if there's anything we want to really kill here. So again, we're looking for Io rune and or Hell rune. Either one of those will get us where we want to be. Just like no bosses on this tower. What IIS frame is this? With Hustle, we're at a pretty good IIS frame. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but it's up there for sure. It's like way better. I'm using Honor, yes. Ort F. Again. I made Hustle armor because I'd made Honor in the weapon already. If I had not made Honor in a weapon, I probably would have made Hustle in the weapon, but
I will cleanse this wilderness.
you have to also remember that, like, I was wearing Stealth as an armor, which isn't great for a melee character. Like, it's fine and everything, you know, you still get the FRW and stuff, but it's not the armor that you really want to be carrying through as a melee character. So that was a bigger upgrade for us. Why Act 3 Mercenary? Because he's wrecking face. He enchants us, which is nice. And then he fires fire damage, and well, I have Conviction Aura on, so. I mean, look how much damage he does. Alright, Hell Io. Hell Io, Hell Io, Hell Io. Just one of the two. That is not quite. It's been a rough time farming on this character, for sure. He's not had the greatest, greatest farming. Been a little unlucky, but that's okay. I'm actually going to jump away from Holy Freeze archers, especially on players 8 there. We'll fight the extra fast. A halberd. Woe stave. Freezes target, slows target by 50%. Actually very nice for Bael. I believe this will fully lock Bael up. But pretty much all we'd be using it for. Okay. We'll go down to players 1 and Hellrune, Irune, Hellrune, Irune. Io! Alright. I'm gonna grab the Nef just in case I need the Nef. Alright! So now that we have the Io rune, first off we can do like I talked about before. Because it is a, you know, a decent rune right there, you can type Io rune in and you can take a look at stuff that you could use. For instance, black is actually really nice. Thol Io Nef. And 120 ED, 40% chance crushing blow, 200 attack rating, 15 IAS. Actually, like, really sweet. So if you have a spare Io rune, I would recommend you get this. At the very least, just use it for bosses, right? Even if you're not going to use it in the long run. This still is very nice. Do you still need attack rating with conviction? I mean, it still helps at least, you know, right now. My conviction's not like maxed or anything. Also, you get corpse explosion charges, which can be useful just like a little bit. Bulwark, Cure are both also options that you can use and are both great. Ground, Hearth, these are all these like new ones that are available. We can't use any of that. Temper we can. And obviously Wipe, that's a 1. That's not for us. Unbending Will is very nice. Again, if we had a foul rune, I would 100% make an Unbending Will and just run around with that. So, there's black. Here's Bulwark. This is fantastic. 20 hit recovery, 46 lifesteal, 10 vitality, increased max life, replenish life 30, damage reduced by 7, and physical damage reduced by 10-15%. This is probably the best mid-game melee helm and or helm for a mercenary. So I always recommend using this for a mercenary because it's just getting all the DR and lifesteal is really helpful. So if you run this with Insight, you're in a really good position. That Act 2 mercenary should be pretty strong. Cure is really nice. It gives Cleansing Aura, a low max life, poison length reduced. So the Cleansing Aura is just really nice to get the curses off. This is actually something a lot of high-end like Nova sources and stuff will use on their mercenaries. Not really going to be used for us. It's all these are helms. So Cure, Hearth, Ground, Bulwark, those are all helms. So you can just do a 3-socket helm and put it in that. So that's for a mercenary as well, but not for us. Ground, same idea, but this one is the lightning version of it. Gives you lightning res and lightning absorb. Temper does the same, but for fire res and fire absorb. And Hearth does the same for cold res and cold absorb. But I got the devs to sneak on cannot be frozen and to put cleansing on the poison one. And thus this helm now is better. We had been talking about changes that the devs made that we had some influences in. These were some of my changes. When they first showed these helms, they were all just like res, absorb, and whatever. And I was like, come on, we got to put like cure, or we got to put cleansing on the poison and cannot be frozen on the cold. So they did it. It was great. One of my favorite changes, because now we can make a cannot be frozen helm for Shale, Io, Thol. And this does belong in a 3-socket helm, so we'll have to find a 3-socket helm. Let's see if this gives us our list of helms. I mean, kind of, but not really. So we're looking for crowns, we're looking for great helms, we're looking for any of the helms that are going to have 3 sockets. We're looking for those socketed and or white. And once we can get that, then we can socket our spirit. and go from there. So we will go back in, continue forward, and now we have our sights set on helms. And we can also look at this, which is flashbang. Heraldic Cube item utility recipes. So being able to socket the items can be nice because it can at least give us a chance. This is so we don't have to use a socket quest. So what we could do is we could grab some of these helms. 1 Tal, 1 Thol, 1 Perfect Topaz, and a normal body armor. We'll get a socketed body armor of the same type. So this will be what we're going to aim for right here. Or 1 Ral, 1 Thol, 1 Perfect Sapphire, excuse me, and a normal helm equals socketed helm of the same type. So Ral, Thol, Perfect Sapphire, and then just the helms. We will try and get a couple sets of these so we can maybe roll for this if we just happen upon. And it'll roll anywhere from min to max sockets. So we'll just have to see, basically. But we at least have Rals and Thols and plenty of Orts. You can see we have Thol, Thol, Thol right there. Ral, Ral. And we have Sapphires ready to be made into Perfect Sapphires with Gem Shrines. And go ahead and drop those booties. No longer need those. And do we have enough? If we have enough of that. Okay. Perfect. So Rathol, Sapphire, Rathol, Sapphire, Rathol, Sapphire. Plenty to do. Can you roll a 3-socket Archon plate? Sure. You can roll any of the items. Okay, now we're gonna head to the Chaos Sanctuary. Make sure I'm on players 1. And again, move as fast or as slow as you want in these areas. So I'm probably gonna try and move a little slower. I just wanted to get into the Chaos Sanctuary, but now that we're in here, I'm going to be fighting and kind of taking on mobs more one at a time. You can hear just how much we're blocking. Super nice. Majid, you need to relax. And really, those Oblivion Knights are going to be a big pain. So that's the biggest thing I'm focusing on right now, is not letting too many Oblivion Knights be around us. Because if there's like 3 or 4 Oblivion Knights all walking up on us, it's just going to put us in a terrible spot. They're going to be just constantly layering down all these different curses on us. They're going to be decrepifying if we get too close and there's too many, and they have the time. They're going to be shooting just from afar. So they can get really annoying. So we just kind of want to move in at a nice speed on him here. Okay.
What do you need?
I suppose I should have also gotten Crushing Blow on a strength, but we can do that later. But another point to conviction. What's really nice is we are moving at a solid pace through here. This is the Chaos Sanctuary, which is not an easy zone. If you do feel like the fire is becoming too much, you can always just put Salvation on. Right? Jack your res up a ton. Also, you can put Resist Fire on if you have that. More Vitality. And we're going to do this because that is a little scary to be fighting all those dudes at once. Okay, let's put the Salvation on. Still a lot. All good. So especially with Infector, because he's just pretty brutal, you'll often just want to go kind of back and forth, right? Note how I'm trying to not take on all of the Venom Lords all at the same time. But I'm fighting one here, one there, one here, one there. Teleport over here. Have this guy charge up to me if he will. Beautiful. If you jack your S, does that offset the damage? Well, if I run Salvation and get my res up, it will lower my damage because I don't have Conviction Aura at that time. Also, a way to break the leash from the boss can be to go to town. So if you want the mobs to not be fully leashed onto them all the time, that can be a way to do so. Looks like they're still kind of leashed right now, but... Okay, let's get our Salvation on just so we can tank a little better. We still have good damage because we still have all the Vengeance damage and stuff. We just don't get quite as much with the Conviction when we're doing that. There you go, Mercenary. So, for the most part, whenever we're running into a bunch of Venom Lords here is when you're going to see me swap over to Salvation if there's like 4 or 5 Venom Lords. Otherwise, I feel pretty comfortable just having Conviction on. But let that be your own safety feeling. Does this Mercenary damage? Look at this Mercenary. He's popping everything. I don't even got to fight. Does this Merc do any damage? It's a good tag team. You try and insult Ajid? Insult him one more time, I dare you. One more time. He doesn't have a spirit yet. Yeah, he's not even like stacked up with lore and spirit and stuff. He's just working with whatever rando gear I've given him. Now always be careful with the Sace. He does have that Fanaticism aura. This is where you really can abuse the leashing a lot. That's right. Put a lore and a spirit on him and baby, you got yourself a stew. Now he's not going to do a ton of damage to the Doom Knights because they are innately fire immune, so even with Conviction they still have, even though the res is broken, they still have high fire res. Let's go ahead and go back.
What do you need?
We will be playing PoE2. 5 to min damage ain't bad. The pin message does nothing, does it? Okay, again, always remember, if it's getting a little too nasty, they're closing in, you can always jump away. And now the leash is broken, so you're going to see they no longer have the tie to Desace, or they have the need to keep walking back to him. But that's not horrible, because we could drag them far enough away to avoid the Might Aura. Ow! I thought surely I'll get a block on one of those. We did not. What? Where's my blocking? I mean, I was moving that time, but still. Why did I invest in all this block if you're not going to block?
Greetings.
Extra strong Might Aura. Yeah. It's a little rough. All good. Let's keep it moving. I love the curse. There we go, now we're blocking. Alright, Ajit, I need you to, like, get away a little. So this is where, again, we've maybe gathered a little more than we want to fight. I'll actually put my salvation on. Ajit, why are you moving in? Nobody wants you to be
I
there.
am overburdened.
What do you need?
Do I have a good build currently, or is it scuffed? I feel like this is a great build right now. Look, is this as fast as Blizzard? No. Obviously, with my Blizzard Sorceress, I can just come in here and fly around and, you know, whack, 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 do a bunch of damage. But, like, these are not, you know, this isn't the meta build guide. This is the, when you want to play a different kind of build that takes a little bit longer, is fun, but in a different way. Like, that's what you're getting here. That's what we're playing for. So yeah, we have to drag some mobs out a little bit to fight them. Yeah, Ajit, you were just asking for it. His AI was very poor. He's like, I'm a mage. That means I should stand right in the middle of everything. Dude thinks he's a Nova Sorceress or something. So yeah, here's our build. We're just max vengeance, max conviction. That's our setup pretty much. Playing through a source guided playthrough? Sure. I mean, I've got source guided playthroughs, but we can do more of them, yeah. Okay, now we have our Diablo fight.
What do you need?
Can sell all these puppies. We don't need to get thawing potions because we already have Canopy Frozen there. Can put away some gold. We can cube up and make perfect amethyst. And before we fight Diablo, one, we want to be players 1. 2, I'm actually going to get my crushing blow gloves on. Now, with Nightmare Diablo, if you actually stand close enough to him, and I mean really close in Nightmare, in Hell you can get away with pretty much any distance in melee range. But in Nightmare, if you stand close enough to him, his lightning breath will actually go over you. So that's what you're seeing there. That's why I'm taking no damage when he breathes lightning at me. On top of that, you can see the crushing blow gloves I have doing work right now. Those giant chunks to his life, that is my crushing blow gloves. So even though it's only 7%, it's totally fine. Obviously, if you have black runeword, if you have strength runeword, if you have duress, if you have whatever, for more crushing blow, you'll get more of those chunks. But I mean, that's a pretty good Diablo kill. So I mean, I feel great. I'm like, I don't need to get that much more crushing blow. I'm hitting often enough. 63%. And I don't believe that 63% even counts the conviction. So we're in a great spot. And just like that, Act 4 is complete. 5 to 7 cold. I mean, sure, why not?
Hail to you, champion.
We'll get some potions here, as they are cheaper in Act 4 compared to Act 5 until we do the first quest of Act 5. Give yourselves the clap, everyone. You have the permission. We'll swap back to our other gloves. Now you might say, Mr. Lema, those gloves were awesome. You just murdered Diablo with those gloves. Why are you swapping back? Well, the reason that we're swapping back is you have to remember, Crushing Blow is a percentage of max life. Thus, if I am fighting Diablo or Bael or a mob that has 1 trillion life, well then, percentage of max life is massive. But if I'm just playing this, character fighting a quill rat, or fighting this slinger, I do more than half of its life in a single hit anyways. So, a percentage of max life isn't really a lot, considering I do more of that damage there. So the higher life that a mob has, the more effective Crushing Blow is. The lower life they have, the less that it even matters. Which is why people are like, oh, why don't you use Black Runeword or something like that all the way through? And it's like, well, it doesn't mean that much. It's not actually changing that much because it's just doing percentage. And I don't need the percentage if I'm already hitting for half their life, 1/3 of their life, whatever. Try and save a Jeed there. Another point to conviction. Beautiful. Okay. Now, of course, we're in the same spot that we were before, which is we were level 45. which is an okay level, but not amazing. And if you wanted to farm, this would be a great place to do so. Right? And that was players 1. We can go to players 8. And on players 8, getting the crushing blow might actually be a little bit more worth it.
Hello.
Let's go ahead and heal up. We'll swap the gloves. We'll go to players 8. And you can always do something in between players 1 and players 8. We're still at max block, so we'll go vitality. I can see YouTube chat. Stefan. I don't... No, That's a pretty good player's 8 clear, to be honest. Is this build viable in hardcore? Sure. I mean, that's half a level right there.
Good afternoon.
So the big thing is going to be, I don't want to run into like too many bosses. So sometimes there'll be, you know, Eldritch here, but then also like an archer pack above or something. And on players 8, that's probably too much. So if you do run into a situation like that, you can reset. If you keep running into a situation like that, you can go to normal and then go back to nightmare, because sometimes the map seed that you get will just have like a second boss there pretty often. And that can be really annoying. How's that go from 49 to 62 to equip Shaco pretty quick here? Yeah. So that's the thing. We are level 45. And, I mean, I say we should spend at least 10 minutes here. But you can spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes here. Which really isn't that long when you think about it in the time that you'll spend elsewhere. And we can just pick up a lot of levels pretty quickly in this spot. 3 open socket. That would have been good for Hustle. Dimensional Blade. Yeah, after the Bael kill, I'll do a full review. This is also a great place to just pick up a little bit of gold. A lot of times you can get some decent gold from here. Another point conviction. Still max block, so we'll go vitality. You cannot do players 8 online. So here's an example where we do have the dual boss group. We'll have to be careful. So I want to just aggro one at a time, if possible. They call him 6. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Okay, now we can head up here. And again, just kind of do a little dragging to try and pull away everybody there. Ajid, remember, you are a mage who stands back. Sometimes he forgets. Love and honor. Thank you very much for the sub. 2 prime subs, reminding everybody they may have a prime sub available. Let's go get more potions really fast. Can you do these guides without using players' commands?
Good afternoon.
So the difference between players' command and non-players' command is just more time, right? Like if I want to level here on players 1 instead of players 8, I do kill them faster, but it'll just take... You may have to refresh at least. It'll just take a little bit more time. So that's why I use the player command. It's just a way to kind of speed it up. But if you are online, just remember, it's the same thing. You'll just have to do it more. But it will be easier. Is Might or Holy Freeze not good for this guy? Might doesn't do anything because the Might damage doesn't actually improve our character. Holy Freeze would be nice. Holy Freeze would slow everybody down around us, which could be decent. So, you know, I would definitely say, like, man, if I could do a Bulwark, Hustle, or Treachery or something, plus Insight, Act 2 Mercenary with Holy Freeze, that'd be pretty sweet. But I don't have enough socket quests for all that. I'd have to get lucky, you know, just like finding all the right numbers of sockets of everything and stuff. Thanks, Lazar. Appreciate that. This Vengeance Paladin seems kind of weak. You seem kind of weak. I'm sorry. Very protective of my Vengeance Paladin. No, honestly, he's going great. I'm another point to conviction. Still max block, more vitality. I'm extremely happy with his pace right now. It took a little bit. The last playthrough, first part of Part Nightmare was rough because that was really the building, farming time to get him to be, you know, stronger. But now he's in a good spot. Now he's really starting to click and move. Lezaraga for 2 months with the Prime sub. GG. Again, you just have to temper your expectations a little bit and remember, Act 1 Merc with a little bit of Pierce is awesome. Ooh, yeah, with Conviction, that could be really nice, the exploding arrow going through. You just gotta remember, it's a little slower. Would you be willing to do a 2-player walkthrough to simulate what it's like doing with this significant other? We did that with Mooger a little bit. That's where we got the rune ward. Is Llama RPG gonna be as good as Dragon Quest? Better. RPG is going to be stellar. That was unfortunate positioning from the mercenary. We are 47 right now. So we started here at 45. Also, if you do feel like it's a little too spicy getting surrounded there, you can just come over here to this corner. Thank you, Jamnik Pies. And this is a much safer spot to be. Or you're only getting attacked by 1 or 2 at a time. So back against the wall. Thank you. Am I a Haas or Spirit guy on Hammerden? Tough. I mean, probably Haas if I really get the choice. Like the block and damage. Perfect. Oopsies.
Salutations.
Afternoon.
It's classic. Okay, so let's go ahead and TP in here, actually. Got champions and non. Ajit, if you'll just like chill for a second, bro, everything will be fine. I don't know why you're moving around so much. He doesn't have any rune words except stealth, I believe. Another point of conviction. Up to 48. But spirit, stealth, lore is generally what you should give him. If I find a 4 open socket sword, I can just make him a quick spirit. My weapon is hustle. Best class for Season 9 ladder. I mean, the best class is always going to be Mosaic Assassin at this point. Unless they nerf it, but otherwise, I mean, you can always make just your classic Blizzard or Nova Sorceresses, your Hammerdens, your Javazon, you know, whatever. All those are good. Yeah, honor is my weapon. Isn't that what I said? Oh, did I say hustle? Sorry, honor. Yeah, grab that. Thank you, Magisto! Crystal sword, 4 sockets. Ooh. Best endgame weapon for vengeance? Probably Breath of the Dying. You really just want a big old damage weapon, and grief doesn't apply in the same way for it, so grief isn't that great. Can you give Act 3 Mercies any good rune words that give auras like insight for mana regen? Not for mana regen. So here with the slingers, I'm just gonna reset. I don't want to fight magic slingers.
Good afternoon.
No. Oh, I didn't have my
Thanks.
shield. I was like, how am I not blocking anything? Let's stop them from... No, he jumped on. Annoying. Yeah. That siege beast is super annoying. Alright. Voice of Reason ain't good? I mean, it'd be okay.
Hello.
Some unfortunate spawns there. If we could have stopped that guy from jumping on the siege beast, we would have been alright. Okay, still max block, so we'll continue vitality. Yeah, insight in the Act 2 mercenary is really great. Alright, we'll go ahead and hit 49 and we'll go forward. But again, you can farm this as much as you would like. Ajit, what are you doing? He's really not being smart. This is where I wish I had an Act 2 mercenary who could at least be smarter. Maybe have Holy Freeze. If I get a nice 2-socket or 4-socket weapon, I'm gonna make an insight and swap over. Is Holy Shield pretty necessary for paladins? It's not so much that it's pretty necessary as it's just so good. It's literally like one of the best skills defensively in the game, I would say. It gives you insanely fast blocking, block recovery, 2 frames and or 1 frame. And then on top of it, increases your chance to block. It's just super nice. Alright, let's go to players 1. Have I tried this no shield and a big 2-hander? We were considering doing it. I mean, if I found Steel Driver or something like that, I would have. If I got like the runes for Unbending Will, I would have, or Obedience. There is definitely some consideration to just do a giant 2-hander with this. But ultimately, we didn't really get the stuff to do so. So you just kind of have to give what you're given. You gotta play with what you are given, you know. But something that we looked at and I talked about for sure as a recommendation for anybody playing, what to kind of look out for, you know. If you're doing this guided playthrough and do come across one of those awesome items, maybe give it a try, have some fun. Could be pretty sweet. And maybe it's just not quite good enough, you know. Our cold res is okay. I really, really want to find that 3-socket so we can get that 4-socket so we can get the spirit going. 3-socket helm, please. Do you get the benefits of Holy Shield? No, if you're not using the shield and you have a 2-hander, you don't get Holy Shield.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Let's go to the Crystalline Passage. And we do want 10 all res. Mana burn curse, not my favorite. There's always mana burn, but curse don't love. But okay. Amrune. We have a lot of AMs now. Chat's decided I should farm Gimmer Shreds. I mean, they would be fine. Am for a G'd Spirit. Yeah, I mean, that's the thought. Again, I have the Amrunes for his Spirit. All I need is to get a 4-socket weapon. Like at this point, bases are pretty much everything that we need for all of our stuff. Which, as everybody does know... Oops, I had a combat Trino. When you want a base, where do you go? The lower Kurast will say hello. That's right. Just remember that jingle and head to the lower Kurast. Nobody says that? I think people say that. I'm pretty sure that's a common thing that's said. We'll go to players 8.
I am overburdened.
Hey,
Please
berserkers.
never say that again.
Okay. So, never say you again. Chat liked it. 1 in chat if you say that. 2 if you're a liar and pretend that you don't. There's the Elrune we were looking for forever. Okay, well now chat's just being liars. Because they want to seem cool. Because you made it seem like it was cool to say you don't say that.
I am overburdened.
You don't do the jingle, but that is where you go? Yeah, but you do the jingle too. Wow, Lumrune! Oh, it's just a salad. Can't get 3 sockets. You probably also do the jingle, though. Lumrune does make a smoke. Now, do we need a smoke? No. But what can we always do? We can take a look at our handy dandy Bing search. That's right. And we can say, what does Lum make? It makes Beast, not for us. It makes Lionheart, potential. Memory, not for us. Oath, very nice, but Pole Mal. Obsession's odd, no. Smoke is great. Splendor is, you know, okay. Stone, Pole, no. Wrath, no. So, not great, but Lionheart is actually not bad. 30 all res, 50 life, 15 dex, 20 vita, 10 energy, 25 strength. I mean, that's a pretty solid armor right there. Could definitely be something we could give to a mercenary. 20% ED as well. Smoke, 50 all res, just pretty much what it does. 20 hit recovery as well, but it's mainly just a big all res armor. And Splendor could be actually given to our mercenary right there if we wanted. So maybe we'll do that for a G'd. We'll give him 10 FCR and 1 doll skills, though he would lose all the res from Ancient's Pledge, which isn't great. So the Lumrune doesn't do too much for us, but it's always good to at least take a look. Again, Lionheart is not bad, and if I was running, let's say, the Hustle armor instead, I would hustle weapon instead of the armor, and I was still running the stealth. That would be a swap I would make right there. I'd go get a lion heart or a smoke instead. Okay. So right now we're really just looking around, again popping all the chests, just trying to find a white helm. Now for us to cube socket it, it cannot be superior or damaged or any, you know, low quality, anything like that.
Good day.
If you do want to see my gear, exclamation mark gear should be able to take you to it, I believe. Horned helm, not quite the helm we want. We could also, of course, just hope to find a 3-socketed helm straight up. So we don't have to try and socket chance it. There's a superior dimensional blade, which 4 open sockets, that can make a spirit that we can give to Ajid. We just gotta make sure he has enough strength to use it. Okay, 6 dexterity is alright. Honestly, better than 10 to attack rating. And 2 to strength, 23 mana.
I can't.
Gear is broken? Really? I want to check the shield just in case it's really high res. It's not. I wonder why it's broken. It shouldn't be based on everything I see here, but Ort. We'll grab that and that. Okay. Yes, there's an experience shrine there. Unfortunate. Flawless ruby. I mean, lots of great stuff dropping, just not quite what we're needing. 5 dexterity. Just get all our dex from that. 5 all res. It's pretty funny that we just need like a white helm. Nothing too crazy, you know? Alright, we'll try again. We are level, what, 48? Maybe 49?
Yes.
9 to energy, no. 4 to dexterity, no. I mean, these are just kind of junk jewels, but I don't need too many of those. Alright. Let's go through and kind of trash some runes that we don't need. Tal, tal, tal. We can just make a thol.
I can't carry anymore.
Tal, thol, ort, am. Goes there. Chip gem. Put those back. Plain ruby I will keep. Chip skull I will not. Diamond, diamond, diamond. Sure. Okay. That'll be good enough. Why do they keep saying chat's on yesterday? I mean, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the YouTube chat update. It just updates a tiny bit slower because YouTube, just how it works is it sends in batches instead of updating message by message. Why do you say it's frozen on stream? I'm literally looking at it and it's updating. Right? Oh. No, I'm looking at Twitch. That makes more sense. There you go. I thought YouTube was on the right. Okay, just ignore me. There you go. Now YouTube is working. Talzami? Maybe. Let's see what we get here. All res 7. My bad. Amrune. I mean, you can really just get everything out here. The rack's just gone and there's a pair of light gauntlets in its place. Did I already pop that rack? I guess so. Very funny how hard it is to find, like, a crown, a mask. We're finding so many of, you know, barbarian-only helmets with 3 sockets and stuff. Check out the Demonite Sash. Ooh, 30 to light res. That one might be worth for hell. Yeah, that's a really nice barb helm. 2 to battle orders, 2 to battle cry, 1 to grimoire. Full helm. Nope. Good bulwark for an Act 5 Merce. True. True. Irathas. Womp womp. Alright, let's see what his stats are. He has 86 strength, 75. So just enough. We can make him a spirit. Tal and a Thol.
I'll put that to
There you
good
go,
use.
buddy. Gee, it's really starting to get stacked now. I guess get him a lore helm as well. Just have him popping. Shale rune. Wish she used static. Well, this is the fire version, but yeah, we could get the light version and have them static a bunch. And honestly, it might be not a bad idea to swap over to static. As nice as the enchant is. I mean, the enchant is pretty solid. It's like 800, 900 attack rating. I have never found a J mod, no.
Thanks.
Tried. Great helm. Will that go 3 sockets? Whenever you're in doubt, just look it up, and there you go. Great helm, sockets 3. Perfect. So we can take this and we can try and roll it for 3 sockets. Pray we get a little lucky. I actually really like 30 light res over 53 to life, so I'm going to swap that in. Additionally, it gives us an additional slot of potions, which is very useful. Okay, so we do need to get a perfect sapphire. This is where we can run around the dark wood. We can run around the... honestly, anywhere. In Act 1, especially with the shrines. Stony Field is the best and my favorite place, so we will look and go get a Stony Field waypoint. So just go to players 1. We want shrines. We're looking for a gem shrine. And a waypoint near shrines. I do have enough flawless sapphires, but that'll only give me a single pop on it. Whereas I want multiple attempts. So now we got the gem shrine. Hey! Let's go. Whew. Okay, so Hearth, again, is Shale, Io, Thul. So we go Shale. And we find our Io. And we do Thul. And we've got a Hearth. Which I don't think rolled amazingly. It rolls 40 to 60 cold res and we got 40. But 13% cold absorb. And the big thing is cannot be frozen. Also, of course, 10 vitality, 20 hit recovery, increased max life 5. All those things are nice.
Afternoon.
But Hearth is done. And what does that mean? It means we can now drop the rhyme, add sockets here, and Tal, Thul, Ort, Am. We get a spirit, which has 56 to all res, 21 to fire, of course. 105 mana, 22 vitality, only 3 magic absorb, bad roll there. 28 FCR. Don't really care about the FCR. And 2 dull skills. So now that boosts all of our things. We get a higher vengeance, a higher holy shield, a higher conviction. Higher everything. And just better resistances overall.
Salutations.
Which is really nice. Cool. Thanks, Treat. Ooh, look how fast he casts now. And he's not hiding behind the pillar. Come on out. There you go. What a baller. We didn't see the green up arrow though. How do I know if it's a better item? That's a good point. I'm gonna reach out to the devs and see if they will put in green up arrows and red down arrows to help the user.
The summit. The barbarian
Okay.
playground.
Now, again, like we talked about before, this is where separating off can be very useful. Additionally, if you want to get more potions, your cube is always a great place to store some, and you can just drop some on the ground. Make sure you have enough town portal and ID scrolls. And this is where we can begin separation. So we talked about it before, not wanting to fight everybody at once.
Thanks.
Okay, we actually have to go this way. Alright, this is where we need to be. The big thing is I don't want Talik whirlwinding me. Everything else I'm actually kind of cool with. So we could have separated them off, but my main focus was just going to be not having Talik on the whirlwind. Alright, once that's taken care of, we're good to go. And a G doing work there, even on the Fire Enchanted Maddock. Now, with Fire Enchanted Maddock, you do want to be careful on his explosion at the end, as it can be deadly. So, Ajid, I'll let you do the final honors. We would have been fine, but it can be a little nasty. Dinkelman, thank you very much for the Prime sub, reminding everybody in chat they may have a Twitch Prime sub available. Thank you. And every Prime sub is another day of diapers for that little one right there. Yeah, show her. Aww. Adorable. Oh, you gotta get her more on the... There you go, little face. Ooh, soul's not very fun. Alright, Ajid's probably just gonna die here. Yeah, not much to be done about it. Sometimes you just get really nasty combinations of stuff. I was gonna say, if that's a 3-socket, but it's a 2-socket, and you know what we can make with a 2-socket? We can make a lore helm. If we have an Ort and a soul, which I believe we do. Let me look for a soul rune. Do I have a soul rune, actually? Maybe not. Alright. Can probably craft up to one there, but... Wait, do I? Where was it?
Hello.
Above the gloves? Okay. We'll look for it later. Not crazy important. Ajit's dead right now, and I'm not going to revive him in this. Massively deadly area. Okay, so that does give us there. However, if you want to get the waypoint, I'd highly recommend it. You can always go back and get the waypoint. Definitely one of the smarter things to do, I'd say. Yeah, so Act 1, you're stuck in Indario with the light source. Are you using Nova or Charge Bolt right now? Or Lightning?
Got a date you're trying to impress, but you're allergic to cats. Hop on over and lease a kid for the weekend and score all those bonus points today. Some restrictions apply.
Thank you. Was that quiet for anybody else? Is everything just quiet right now for some reason? Yes. I don't know what happened. My, like, computer... Well, okay, I do know one thing that happened. Alright, hold on, let me try this. My computer bugged out the other day. And it just freaked out and swapped... Ooh, maybe... Hold on. Yeah.
Coming soon, Llama's child leasing company. Got a date you're trying to impress, but you're allergic to cats.
Much better.
Hop on over and lease a kid for the weekend and score all those bonus points today. Some restrictions apply.
That's still quiet? What in the world? Yeah, my computer freaked out the other day, and just out of nowhere it started lagging, and then it went black screen, and then it disconnected my audio. My, like, headphones. It was super weird. And then I just, like, reconnected my headphones and everything was fine, but... Alright, boss group souls. Only my voice is high. Everything else is low.
Good afternoon.
Best afternoon.
How's that? What? Totally silent?
Join my army of the dead.
Coming soon, Llama's child leasing company. Got a date you're trying to impress, but you're allergic to cats. Hop on over and lease a kid for the weekend and score all those bonus points today. Some restrictions apply.
Better? Now you don't hear any game sounds? Oh my god. But you can hear the baby crying.
Coming soon, Llama's child leasing
Now it's
company.
quieter.
Got a date you're trying to impress but you're allergic to cats? Hop on over and lease a kid for the weekend and score all those bonus points today. Some restrictions apply.
Good enough. Maybe. 22 life, 21 mana. It's kind of nice. Oh yeah. Also remember, like we talked about dragging waves away. If desired, you can drag some of these guys outside. Just make it a little bit less nasty. Stay alive, Ajid. You got this, buddy. Hydras are too good against him.
I am overloaded.
3 socket, but it's ethereal. Be nice for a bulwark. This is nightmare difficulty. Oof. Tried to tell you out, but that got rid of our fire res when we did so. Fire damage is a little spicy. So getting surrounded is not the best for us. Otherwise, I mean, I like killing the wave. I like the experience. Obviously, we don't have to. We can always just go back in if we want.
Salutation.
So, yeah, you can always skip the waves by dragging them out.
Yes.
But I want to fight here. We're picking up experience. We're 51. Hopefully we can get to like 52 before Bael ends, or right around the end. That'd be a solid spot. One more. Your vengeance, you don't have to skip anything. Yeah, that's the thing, though. We don't have to skip anything. All comes down to preference. Extra fast wave 5 is a little scary. We're actually doing okay with it, but that is a very tough wave when it's extra fast, especially. Can see if we can separate them a little bit. Even just fighting 2 at a time is way better, but 3, 4, 5 starts getting a little high. But we can take on 2 at a time. So really a lot of it just comes down to solid positioning, maneuvering yourself around. So, hey, I mean, being able to take out pack number 5 is pretty great. Like, that's pretty solid. Very happy with it. Okay. Let's go get our potions. Go get a G'd. 22 life, 21 mana versus 6 dexterity. Okay, Starler.
Starler became a member. Starler celebrates 10 months of membership. Llama. Sound check. Check. Check.
Players 1.
Sibilance.
Oh, we need our crushing blow gloves. Don't forget. That will do a lot to help us here. Mic check, 1, 2. Jade's gonna die to the tentacles or to Bael. Would I ever do lower Kurast runs on multiplayer players 1? Yes! Lower Kurast, even on players 1, is still fantastic. It's just better on a higher player count. But even on P1, you'll still get lots of goodies. And honestly, a pretty smooth Bael.
My brothers will not have died in vain.
G. Just like that.
This mortal realm.
You have completed part Nightmare. Give yourselves the clap. That was not bad at all. Once we really started... Oh! Dang. We got our Paladin Spirit now, but if we didn't, not bad. 2 pally skills.
How may I be of help?
let's take a look. Let's recap everywhere where we're at. So, stats and skills. We are a little low on our block, so we'll go ahead and get our block back up. Almost at 74. Or almost at 75. We're at 74% chance to block. So, enough strength to wear our gear. Dexterity for max block. The rest in vitality. Maxing out conviction. Remember, you don't want to go beyond level 25 conviction. But up until then, it's great. So right now it's minus 91% defense and minus 135% resist all, which is fantastic for us. Vengeance. This is not the best camera angle. We'll do this. Vengeance right now, 240% attack rating and 204 to the others, except lightning damage is 224%. A few points in Holy Shield, which we could, honestly, if we wanted, respec out of that if we want at this point, but I'm fine with having the few extra points there. And just, you know, a couple points here, a couple points there. Rest in charge. Here is our gear. We have Honor, 160 ED, 1 to all skills, in an exceptional base of the Twin Axe, 250 attack rating, 9 min, 9 max. Pretty solid option, honestly. We made a Hearth for Cannot Be Frozen, which freed up our shield so we could get a Spirit. I do like the +2 to skills, the additional res, vitality, mana, everything that Rhyme Shield did not give us. Nice amulet. Wish it was paladin skills, but otherwise, pretty great. Hustle runeword, faster run walk, IAS, hit recovery, evade, some all res. 25 res gloves. Honestly, at this point, I'll probably go get better gloves. These have been great, but they've kind of, you know, worn out their welcome a little bit. We need something a little stronger. Decent ring, 6 all res, 24 cold, with some mana, dex, max damage, 30 light res belt, 69 attack rating ring. This also definitely needs to be improved. And 10 fast run walk, 35 light res boots. Charms are pretty basic with just some res, little dex, little damage. We've got our crushing blow here. We've got this for a lore. Somebody said I had a soul. That's a lum. Yeah, we'll have to make a soul if we want. Have to queue up to it. And our telly staff, obviously. Our mercenaries got spirit, stealth, ancient's pledge, just a random helm. So he's actually got some decent gear. Overall, our gear is pretty decent. And this is what happens with these melee classes, with these characters, where you spend a little more time grinding, right? Because if this was a Blizzard sorceress or whatever, we would be many hours faster, but we would have just our basic stealth, our spirit sword, maybe a lore helm, maybe not, and just like random trash, right? So here it's like, we spend a little extra time, we get the honor. We spend a little extra time, we get the hearth. We spend a little extra time, we get the hustle. You know? Like, we're spending a little extra time, we're getting the slightly better things that are improving our character overall. And just putting us in a more fun and better position where we can go and farm around and do more. Yes, hustle and hearth are new runewords in D2R. So we're level 52. Again, if you want to spend more time just leveling up right at here, go ahead. Right? Level to 53. Level to 60. Level to 65. You can just run this over and over again. Great place to spend a few minutes. Just gaining simple experience before you move into hell, because while we've done decent in nightmare here, we are going to be a little bit short for hell. So I'll level up one more time before we move on to part hell, but I would definitely recommend more than once you spend some time here. We do have to be careful. We do have the archers there, so again, make sure that you're being careful with your aggro. And we actually have a double boss here. Alright, Ajid, just like hang out there and fire, man. You don't gotta do anything else. Yeah, Vengeance definitely doesn't have the, like, sustain for later and such. But it's interesting. And more so than Splash, I think it would be more interesting if it, you know, was more like a Rift build, right? Where, like, it shot out Chain Lightning and stuff. I think that could be a fun way to kind of take it. Yeah, G's gonna die. But I also like it as just a single target hit. Just kinda, I can go and I can fight anything, right? That's the beauty of it. Percent chance to cast various source skills? Yeah, I mean, that could be interesting.
I was just experimenting for science. Zeala with Gimmished and Max Conviction might be the best budget Zeala I've seen. I assume the same will be true for Vengeance.
There's a lot of elemental damage. And decent physical damage. Oh no, cursed. Yep. It's annoying. Get away from the archers at least. Let's hit our level up. Perfect. Alright. And that will be the end of part Nightmare. Level 53 again. Roll, you know, I'd say level up before you go to hell, but that at least takes us through Nightmare, which had 2 parts there. So let's move on to part hell, but we'll do that in the next video. That being said, don't forget to like and subscribe, YouTube. Peace.